Hello, I'm Jenny L. Walsh, and I want to thank you for spending some of your World Read Aloud Day with me. Many of my books are inspired by real people and real events. My Shaded series is nonfiction books about brave young women. I've written a book set during the Revolutionary War about an unsung war heroine named Sybil Ludington. There's also some magic in this book too, which is really fun. I've set 2 books during the Second World War. And in March, I have a new one releasing that's set at the Berlin Wall. But today, I wanted to share more about I Am Defiance, which released a few months ago, and which I'm very excited to say is currently in the Scholastic Book Fairs. So if you happen to spot a copy at your fair, I hope you'll snag it. For our time today, though, I'm going to recommend some books. I'll answer some common questions I receive, and I'll also read from I Am Defiance. So to set up the portion I'm going to read, let me introduce you a little bit to the book. Here on the cover, we see Bridget. And what makes Bridget so unique as a character is that she's a young German girl who grows up as part of the Nazi Party. She's even part of the League of German Girls, which is part of the girls' branch of the Hitler Youth. Basically, she has heard her whole life that Adolf Hitler is the savior of Germany, and for most of her life, she doesn't question it. She simply does as she's told and believes what she's told. Then things start to change for Bridget. Part of the reason is that her dad and her older sister Angelica start having secret conversations, and they start mapping out things that are going on with the war on a map that they again keep a secret for Bridget. So Bridget has started to get really curious, and she's determined to get to the bottom of what could be the truth. So that's kind of where I'm going to pick up with this portion I'm going to read to you guys. So here we go. This is only a few chapters into the novel. All right. I stare at my bedroom ceiling. It's the same white paint chipped ceiling I've stared at my whole life, yet it feels changed to me, duller. My head turns involuntarily at the sound of voices, once again hushed, once again coming from Papa and Angelica. I slip my right foot out from beneath Tiger Lily, who is her cat, from Tiger Lily's dead weight, and I'm on my feet, my nightshirt hitting my ankles as I stand. I crack open my door. It's enough to catch some of their words. It's how I learned a little more about how the war is actually going compared to what they tell us at our JM meetings. JM is an abbreviation for the League of German Girls that she's in. I've heard Papa talking about assassination attempts on the Fuhrer and of something called a concentration camp. Papa's words were even more hushed while speaking of those camps, and I couldn't hear enough to know more. But even at meetings, the other girls warn in campfire-type voices that bad behavior can land someone in one of those camps. Tonight, I want to know as much as I can. I want more than fragments and maps that are swiftly put away when I enter a room. I creep into the hall and toward Papa's study. It's little more than an alcove with a desk, and their backs are to me. On his desk, between them, I see the map from earlier, a sliver of it, at least. Papa's desk light catches on the red markings. He shakes his head and he says, "They've gotten closer. I worry about you there, Angelica." They? There? Angelica runs her pointer finger along the map. She says, "Besides the attack on Augsburg 3 days ago, the British haven't attacked much deeper than our northern coast." I don't know exactly where Augsburg is, but I know the city isn't far away. The northern coast is far, though. My city of Munich is in southern Germany. Papa nods, and I wish I could see his face because his shoulders are tight, too tight. He says, "They seem to be doing quick strikes on the bigger factories along the coast, then getting the hell out of there before they're shot down. German planes are superior. Every time the RAF comes inland or farther south, they'll be chased a greater distance to get back to England." Oh, they is the RAF, England's Royal Air Force. They're the ones bombing Germany. Papa blows out a breath. It worries me that they took the risk to hit a factory in Augsburg. I can only hope it won't be repeated again soon. That was close enough, too close. What, about an hour by car? My mouth drops open at that, at the fact a town about an hour away has been bombed. Angelica asks, "Do you think they'll come this far inland again?" Papa says, "I'm afraid so. They were successful once." Papa draws an imaginary circle around the bombed towns up north. He says, "Like you pointed out, most of the attacks are up here. Augsburg broke that pattern, but if Frankfurt is here, Papa moves his finger down toward the center of the map in the direction of where we are, but only halfway. I don't see Munich getting hit before Frankfurt, Dad says. When there's news of Frankfurt, then his drop sentence is followed by the biggest of exhales. I imagine the circle Papa drew growing and expanding even more, but Munich is inside the bomb's target. It makes me think of Tiger Lily's eyes. I picture her pupils right before she's about to pounce on an unsuspecting sock or leap toward the dust mites that fall in the sunlight, the blacks of her eyes growing larger and larger until they take up almost all of her eye. Then, wham. So I hope you liked that little sneak peek there into the book and enjoy that. From here, things really get going for Bridget because her eyes are going to continue to be open to actually the happenings going around her, and she might just get involved and take a stand against Hitler. And one of the ways she might get involved is through a real life and very secret resistance group. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And we can move on to questions. So some of the questions I get are about inspiration and how I became a writer. Let me take a look at one I have over here. So one question I normally get is, how did you know you wanted to be a writer? And you know what? The easiest way for me to answer that question is because I tried it and I realized that I liked writing. So I tried it some more and I got better. Though I will say though, that the first couple of things that I wrote, they weren't my best, and that's okay. They were learning experiences. And what I learned most was that I really loved doing it. So I kept writing and I kept writing some more and writing some more. And it actually took me a couple full books that I wrote until I got my first agent, and a couple full more books that I wrote until I got published. So it's a long process, but you know what? I love doing it. So it's totally okay. Another question I liked that I get often is, what do I like best about being an author? And I think it's that I just love being creative. Ever since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to do something creative. I wasn't quite sure what that meant, but it had to be creative. And being an author is the best way for me to be creative. I get to make up characters and conversations. And even though my books are set in real places with characters based on real people, I still get to fill in the blanks and make up personalities and put them in dangerous situations and help them have motivations and go through obstacles. So it's so fun for me to use my imagination in that way. A third question that I get quite frequently is, what's next for me? Am I going to write more historical fiction? And the answer to that is yes. I also get asked if I'm going to write things beyond historical fiction. And the answer to that is maybe. Stay tuned. I could have more on that soon. But I do have another historical fiction coming out. This one is coming out in March, actually, not too long from now. And you know what? Why don't I show you guys a trailer? That could be fun. So let me pull that up. And I'll show you guys a trailer for Over and Out really quickly. All right, here we go. So I hope you guys like that trailer. I'm really excited for Over and Out. I mean, I love all my books, but I'm really excited for this one too. And as you saw, there's spying and escaping over the Berlin Wall. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on in this novel. So yes, I'm excited for this book, but I also wanted to give you guys some recommendations to wrap up your time with me on World Read Aloud Day. And I have to start with What Lives in the Woods. For any of you who follow me on social media or have seen some of my book recommendations in the past, Lindsay always comes up for me. She is actually one of my closest friends. So I get an inside look at a lot of her books and I just love her writing. So What Lives in the Woods, I love this book. You should definitely check it out if you haven't. Lindsay is just so good at writing spooky and mysteries and you'll love it. She also has another book coming out in 2022. It's called The Girl in White. My mind blanked there for a moment, and it is so spooky. It's based in a town that pretty much celebrates Halloween all year round. They have all these cool legends and different things that they follow to a T. And of course, the main character has to solve a ghost mystery. So it's wonderful. Another book I would recommend, and let me make sure I get this right. So it's the next book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. It's book, let me see, it's book 9. And I feel like a lot of people love these books, like who out there loves these books, right? And when I saw that book 9 was coming out, I realized that I actually hadn't even started the series yet. I know that's horrible, but I've read the first book recently and I absolutely loved it. So if you haven't read it yet, don't be like me, read it. It's awesome. And then now I have to read books 2 through 8 so I can get ready for 9. I'm pretty sure it also comes out later this year, maybe in November. So I have some reading to do. So check out Lindsay's book, check out Shannon Messenger's new book. And while you're at it, I hope you will grab a copy of I Am Defiance at your Scholastic Book Fair if you happen to see it there. If not, this baby's available everywhere. But thank you so much for spending some of your World Read Aloud Day with me. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your school day. All right, bye guys.